There is a lot of doom and gloom talk about AI and how it's going to ruin so many industries, and I definitely have my own thoughts about how AI is going to affect the music industry, which we're going to talk about towards the end of the video, what I think is actually going to happen. But I decided to ask AI how to save my music career from AI, and its answers surprised me. Hey everyone, I'm Cole Caparoon, and thank you for stopping by for another video. Now, generally speaking, I land somewhere in the middle between pessimist and optimist. I would like to consider myself a realist. I am neither glass is half full or glass is half empty. I do think that one of my strengths is problem solving and figuring out how to navigate through life and through situations. But this AI thing, it's gonna be interesting, and I've had a few conversations with some people much higher up in the music industry than myself that have scared the crap out of me. So ChatGPT has become a massive part of my everyday life. I use it as a brainstorming partner and a super advanced search engine most often. I use it to bounce ideas off for these videos, titles, thumbnails. I use it to bounce ideas off for strategy. I use it to help make purchase decisions. The other day I was looking for a lavalier microphone that had the highest SPL rating, and I went on Sweetwater and I started looking through all their lavalier microphones and looking at the specs of every one of them. And I was like, this is going to take absolutely forever. So I just asked ChatGPT to look at every lavalier microphone that it could find and give me the top 3 with the highest SPL rating, and in 10 seconds, it did it. And that saved hours worth of work that no intern or no employee would have done. It didn't take away anyone's job. And so I think that AI has some insane power, but it also might have the power to ruin careers and ruin industries. But I want to get on to my thoughts and how I think this is actually going to play out towards the end of the video. So here's what I said to ChatGPT to help set this whole conversation up. I'm a music mix engineer in Nashville, Tennessee. I've charted top 40 on Billboard, had a handful of #1s on radio charts, but I'm nervous about AI stealing my career. It seems we are only a couple years away from artists and producers not needing a mix engineer to mix their music, as they will just be able to have AI do it. How do I save my music career from AI? Now, of course, like ChatGPT does, it gave me a ton of fluff in with some of the actual gems of information, but it starts off with, your career is not doomed by AI unless you try to fight it head on as a replacement threat instead of evolving into what it can't replace. It's very interesting. What it will do soon, AI will absolutely be able to handle basic and intermediate tasks, balancing levels, setting EQ curves, cleaning up noise, even creating stylistically correct mixes. It will likely become good enough for early stage demos, indie artists on a budget, and creators who don't value the nuance of a pro mix. So far, I agree. What it can't do, and probably won't for a long time, taste and intentional imperfection. AI doesn't feel why something should break a rule, you do. Human trust and collaboration. Artists don't just hire you to balance a mix, they hire you to understand them, to interpret emotional intent, and make judgment calls. I could not have said that better myself, honestly. Contextual decision making. A mix isn't just audio engineering, it's storytelling, brand, audience, genre culture, and human psychology. AI struggles with that level of creative nuance. So far, so good. What we should do, shift from engineer to creative authority. This sucks right here. This sucks. If your brand is I balance levels, yeah, AI might eat that. But if your brand is I transform songs into radio hits, AI can't touch you. For now. Start rebranding yourself not as a service provider, but as a creative authority. Position yourself as a sonic director. Talk about how you elevate songs, not just mix them. That's okay. Sell results, not tasks. Quote, I've mixed tracks that hit #1 and top 40 radio. I know how to make your song competitive on Spotify playlists and radio. Absolutely, pitching yourself is a very important part of this job. Offer mix vision calls. Help artists define their sound, not just clean it up. This repositioning builds a moat AI can't cross. Now here's where it gets a little sketchy. Build your own AI augmented workflow. Don't compete, co-pilot. AI mix assistants can speed up the boring 40% of your workflow. That lets you spend more time on the creative 60%. Train your own custom mix templates with AI to reflect your taste so it becomes a multiplier of your style, not a threat. This is going to get into my real thoughts on this and what I'm real skeptical of what is going to happen here. Imagine marketing yourself as, I use cutting-edge AI tools combined with human-level taste and billboard-proven experience to deliver mixes that no machine can match. It's a hell of a sales pitch right there. Now AI isn't competition, it's part of your edge. This is where it gets even sketchier to me. Diversify into AI-proof roles around your core skill. Mix coaching. Teach younger engineers and artists how to improve their mixes. Got it. Sonic branding and consultation. Help labels and artists shape their sound identity. That's great. Content creation. Build a YouTube or email audience around mixing tips, breakdowns, and mix critiques. ChatGPT's got my number. AI tuning services. Offer to train AI mix tools on your style for studios or artists. This will become a niche business. I absolutely hate this answer, but I feel like it's correct. Your billboard-proven ear is intellectual property. Treat it like that. Build a brand that AI can't replace. AI might be able to spit out a mix, but it can't build relationships or reputation. That is 100% true. Build a strong online presence around your name and taste. I've been preaching that for the entirety of this channel. Publish content that shows your thinking, not just your work. AI can't replicate your taste decisions. Capture emails and build a following. When people trust you, they hire you even if AI is free. Well, long-term play, make AI work for you, not against you. Offer AI-enhanced mixing services, creativity plus machine precision. I don't see how that's a sales pitch. I just don't. Because when you pitch that, people are going to just be like, oh, he's not doing half of the work. License their mix style as AI presets. Damn it. We're going to get onto that in a second. Collaborate with AI companies. You could be the human ear behind a new generation of tools. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts on this, on what ChatGPT said, on what I think is actually going to happen, and how I think we can avoid it and get in front of it. Most of us. Now, I've been saying for 2 or 3 years now that I think mix engineers eventually most of them won't have a job. And I've been saying and thinking for a couple years now that the household names will probably be just fine. The Chris Lord Alges, the T. Chad Blakes, the Serbins, those household names are going to keep getting work because major labels are likely never going to switch fully over to AI automated mixing. However, what I do think is going to happen is all of those household names are going to train AIs on their tastes. They're going to upload 1,000 of songs that they've mixed and train AI on their sonic palette and their decision making. And then you're going to be able to dump all of your tracks into an AI and just be like, do I want it to sound like CLA? Do I want it to sound like Serban? Do I want it to sound like Colt Caparoon? Do I want it? And that is I'm 99% sure that's what's going to happen. Now, what I'm hopeful for myself is that my career trajectory continues to climb just barely fast enough that I am on top of this curve, that I become one of the household names as this is happening. But it might not happen for me, and it probably won't happen for a lot of you. I absolutely despise the idea of training an AI algorithm on my tastes and my decision making, so that way I can sell you guys my mix template. I really hate that. I'm not going to say that I'll never do it, but I really, really hate that. In principle, that just feels just wrong to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe if you're in the position to be able to sell a product like that, maybe it's fine. Let me know what you guys think. It feels sleazy to me. So how do we avoid this? How do you get in front of this AI problem and keep AI from stealing your job? Well, I've thought an insane amount about this, honestly, over the past handful of years. And so I just want to tell you everything that I think about it and what my plan actually is. Now, first and foremost, I want my career trajectory. It needs to go up faster. I'm feeling a lot of pressure right now to enhance the trajectory of my career. So that way, hopefully I can get in front of this, become one of those household names that won't lose work. The next thing, which ChatGPT said, and I completely agree with, is build relationships. You can go all the way back to the earliest videos on this channel. I have been preaching this forever, that people work with people they know over most of the time, people they don't know that might even be a better fit. Personal relationships are absolutely the top priority in this career, the utmost top priority. People have to know you, people have to like you, people have to trust you. Now, I'm not saying that you should be fake or phony to get those things to happen. I'm just saying that building the relationships is like the most important part. It's more important than how good of a mixer you are. The other thing that I think AI will never touch is production. Producers. I don't see producers going away at all. I think the availability of cheap recording tools already did that. I do think producers, there's probably less dedicated producers now, maybe, than there used to be, but I think that wave has already happened with home recording setups. And I don't see that getting any worse. Home recording gear is not getting any better. You can already make phenomenal records with very, very little gear in your bedroom. And there's not going to be a robot sitting in a chair like this telling a guitar player how to play a part differently, or giving advice to a singer on how to sing it better, or making arrangement choices on, oh, we need to put this piano part above the guitar part and play it like this so it's more complementary. AI is never going to replace that. And so I think leaning into your producing chops and your recording engineer chops, this is something that I've preached on this channel for a long time as well. Become a badass recording engineer. An engineer, as in how to place microphones, how to set compression, how to set preamps. Those are the skills that are going away. And the people who are real good at that stand out already, and AI is not going to affect that whatsoever. Now, the next thing that I do think is that we should all augment our income. You should have multiple income streams. Even if you're not in the music industry, even if you're a plumber, like, you should have multiple income streams. I do think that this is very, very, very important, because there are going to be times when one thing that you do is becoming less lucrative, or you just have a lull in, and the other thing that you do can keep you afloat through those rough times. I personally have 5 streams of income. 5 completely separate streams of income. Maybe I'll detail that in a video sometime. Now, I could pay all my bills with just the music that I work on, and I did do that for many, many years, for a decade plus. But no matter how successful I became, there are always moments when it's like, oh, I've got 2 weeks with not really any new projects coming through the doors, and yeah, this sucks. My bank account's hurting. So you should definitely diversify your income. I think that is just the right advice for every person on planet Earth. But then we get into content creation and building a following. I have been preaching this since the start of this channel, since long before AI was ever a part of the conversation, since long before ChatGPT ever existed. You have so much power when you have an audience. It is kind of crazy, the things that you can accomplish and the moves that you can make, the people that you can meet, the people you can have a conversation with, just because there's a K after your follower number on Instagram. Now, social media is very bittersweet. I'm not even the biggest fan of it. I would prefer to not have any of it at this point, but it is very, very necessary for any entrepreneur. And honestly, even if you're not an entrepreneur, even if you're running a day job, it is the way that you can move much easier into being an entrepreneur. So yes, you should be working on building your social media, and on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. I think it should be a part of everyone's day-to-day. This is just part of the job. I think that probably sums it up. I think build your following, build relationships, improve your engineering chops, lean into producing rather than mixing, and hopefully push your mixing career to a point where you are surpassing, you are rising faster than the onslaught of AI. I'm not necessarily pessimistic about the music industry. I'm this much pessimistic about mixing careers in the music industry, but I think the music industry is going to be just fine. I mean, here in Nashville, I know we're kind of an interesting pocket, but here in Nashville, there's entire studios that are only recording to tape and only cutting to vinyl. That's a whole career that you can have, is not even touching a computer. And I think, 5 years ago or 15 years ago, if someone said, hey, you're going to be able to have a whole music career just running tape and vinyl, I think everyone would have been like, no, you're not. That's absolutely not going to happen. But it's one thing that's funny is the further we go down this technological path, the more humans crave real human interaction, the more we crave organic analog experiences. Vinyl is like 20% of the entire music industry revenue at this point. And I think 20 years ago, we would have never seen that coming. But the more digital music becomes, the more people crave the analog. Same way with online content. The more we get sucked into these TikTok and Instagram, tiny bite-sized, attention span destroying content, the more long-form podcasts, 2-3 hour podcasts, are becoming much more successful because people crave real conversation as opposed to swipe, 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 swipe. I think the same thing is going to happen with this AI mixing stuff. I think the more AI mixing becomes prominent, which it's not prominent at all right now, but the more it becomes prominent in the future, the more people are going to crave being able to come in a room like this, in a room like yours, and sit here and watch someone mix, having a real conversation about what the mix makes them feel. The feeling, the emotion is the thing that we have to capitalize on here. And that's been the goal, should have been the goal forever, for all of the music industry's history. So really, that's not changing. Are there going to be some lower and mid-tier mix engineers that end up struggling to have enough work to pay their bills? Yeah, that's probably going to happen. But I think if you take the right steps and do the right things, you can get in front of it. There are links down below for every piece of gear that I use to mix on a daily basis. So anytime you guys need any piece of gear whatsoever, doesn't matter what it is, you can jump on any one of my videos, click on any of the links in the description below. And once you're on the site, you can purchase anything you need. Doing that costs you nothing extra, but it goes just a little ways to help me keep this channel going, help support me and make these videos like I'm making. Those links go to Sweetwater, and I've been buying my gear from Sweetwater for a really long time. So thank you so much to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for using those links anytime you need to purchase absolutely anything. I've even been getting camera gear from Sweetwater lately because they have a whole content creator section. Now that I think it's more important than ever before to create good content, they have cameras, camera microphones, lenses, all sorts of stuff, video lights, all sorts of stuff for content creation. So be sure to jump over there and check that stuff out. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this whole AI thing. What do you think is going to happen? Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.